Okay. So I said Rick literally showed me this a week ago. I said he put it right on there and he just let it sit.
No, I watched you do that live, Alex, and you went way too fast.
Once I saw you do it, man.
All right. Now I can't read the. What do you got? You got the chat? Okay. And I got that. Where are you going?
What do you want me to do?
Hold the fucking camera. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're pretty shaky, though. Maybe
I am very shaky. I got two phones.
Yeah.
Will you hold me so I can?
All right, look. So the secret to cutting film, and we'll go over this because Alex forgot. Ryan did just have a refresher. We're going to go really slow because it is just a razor blade cutting through the film. Now, because the razor blade is sharp, I could put a lot of force on this. And if I put a lot of force on this, then it's going to cut through fast because it is razor sharp. But the problem is it bunches up the film where it cuts if you go too hard. So once you get down here a little ways, you can start feeling the fact that you're actually into the plastic cord, and then you can pop it through the cord. Then boom. Now we're going to look at this one and see if it's any different. With it, oh God, you got this locked out 7 ways from Sunday.
Alex did it.
Alex.
Same person who cut the film like shit.
Do you see any of that going on here? You can use that edge.
Crispy.
Crispy. So we all learned something today. So anybody who got any jagged edges and doesn't like it and it makes you mad, let me know, and I will send you a roll of film and take it out of Alex's check.
Just know Alex's phone is so much better at recording than yours. I said, just know, Alex, your phone is so much better at recording than.
Well, it's because I didn't change my freaking settings.
Well, no, the standard default when you log in, your phone automatically goes to 480. And maybe you could change that. Which shows today? Oh God, that's crazy. Yeah, and you can tell the difference. Let's compare. Come, follow me. Hurry, hurry. We're gonna do this. See the cord? You can kind of see how it's a little bit jagged there, like where it broke through. That's because you were, and how right there at the edge. Can you see the difference? Is that a good comparison? tough to focus on it, but so, and that's one thing that we pride ourselves in. We're not hating on Alex for it. And that was a joke. Don't tell me. Oh wait, this was the side. Oh, this side is good. This side is not good. Okay, so this would have been the side of the 20-inch that got cut.
On the right side?
Yeah. And then, so one of these is your edge and one of these is probably the other your edge. Might be Ryan's edge too. But no, Ryan, I did go over that with Ryan just last week. So, and then here's another edge that, oh, that's yours too. This is my crispy. So these ones, let's leave those there for now. And we'll come back. And I guess Josh said that, yeah, we can go live. So that's exciting. We'll talk to him about something. And these ones will go to, Jaybird. We'll put the cover back on this. Did you hear that? I remember somebody's name. I'm getting better at that, but that means I'm forgetting other shit. Oh my God, you're following me. That looks way better than your phone on 480. Don't worry, my phone looks stupid on 482. Go back to Rick's main. Bring this back up.
Put that one down. All right, sorry, we only got 7 viewers back. Really shut this thing. Not in stream. That's what happened when Alex left, because we all have control over that stuff. And we ended stream. All right, so I'm back. I put my headphones back on. We got Alex coming back in. I don't know if he's talking or not, but oh, Alex is muted, I think. There he is.
I think I was hoping that I ended it before you got to show everyone my cut side.
Did I? I might have. Or you might have. I don't know. Anyway, so
Well, that's
hard
exciting.
to say.
Jeff's gonna pop on.
maybe I gotta find the right window so that I can get to him. I'll send him a link. But Alex, for future, wait, did you send the link to yourself to join?
I tried to, but Facebook does this weird thing where it doesn't let me choose which browser to use. So it just I think it defaulted to Google Chrome, but my phone won't allow me to use Restream with Chrome. I have to use Safari. So what I ended up doing was, I didn't realize that at first. So I tried to log into Restream from Chrome, and it said to switch to Safari. So then I went to Restream.io on Safari.
Oh, have to share. Do I get both 10 inches? Yes, yes. We're going to send you a 20-inch cut 1010. Is that's not how you normally get them? Because if you got a 20 and it was jagged on both ends and it was just a 20, unless the 60 got cut down to a 40-20 and then the 40 got cut down to a 40-20. But yeah, so, and it's not, when you have those jagged edges, it's not the entire roll. It's like the last 20, maybe 30 feet, it just starts getting a little bumpy because that's where everything starts getting bound up with the blade going through it. So you got to let the blade do all the work. You know, you can't put any muscle into it. And sometimes when there's a lot of orders and a lot of film to cut, it is easy to pull a little bit harder and try to push. But we try to pride ourselves not to do that because, you know, as a tinner, I understand every foot of film is important. Jaybird says, I take them like that. Okay. He says, very confusing. Jeff said, today would be that day that I left my laptop at home and all the computers have been shut down. Any way for me to jump on with a cell? Oh, Jeff is on it. Look at that shit. What's up, Mr. Jeffrey?
What's up?
I was just typing.
Are
out
you
a
able to
long
hear
list
me?
of instructions. We are.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Now, I'll tell you, Jeff, if you go into your settings on there, you should be able to find a little settings. You can change your camera. It automatically goes 480p. And that's just if you've got a decent internet connection, you can switch it to 1080p and you'll look way less fuzzy. Unless you just haven't shaved your head in a minute, and maybe that's why it's fuzzy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that might be it, man. That might be the whole situation here. Let's see.
The good news is the audio seems to work good either way.
Let's see if this does anything. Hang on 1 second.
What's the worst that could happen? We shut down the whole stream. Oops, we lost him. He'll be back. Holy goodness, man. Why are you sending me pictures of Jaybird? Oh. He's back.
Oh, crispy.
Oh, that's a million times better.
So I'm
Yeah,
not sure if anything changed. I just got over here to some natural light. Hopefully that'll make it better.
Oh, well, it's crispy.
Yeah. I'm crispy too, so it matches up.
So these guys are forcing me to get you on here and ask you about your new magic slip tape.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's
They're
good
all
stuff.
intrigued.
What's that?
They're all intrigued.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've got a few installers out there that are using it, and we're not hearing back from them on it because it's not wearing out. So I guess our intent is to sell products and help guys out, you know. Of course, we're trying to maintain some business and so forth with that, but it really is a product that's staying on the squeegees well enough. With some stuff, we're having to use ProBond to get it to adhere properly and stay put. But with most staying on there fairly well. Some I have noticed with some of my hard cards, I've had to go and post heat a little bit to get it to stay put. But otherwise, man, that stuff is rock solid.
Yeah, well, you know, with
Yeah, it's rock.
some of the slip agents they use in some of these hard cards, you know, it's kind of amazing you're able to get anything to stick to them.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky, man. And I think that's what the Pro Bond helps out with that. It helps to get that surface kind of softened up a little bit to where it'll adhere a
Mhm.
little better. But even so, with a brand new hard card, you don't really want to put it on a brand new one. Get one of your older ones that's scratched up a little bit, or either take your knife or something, a file or something, and scratch that thing up,
Kind of
and
cut
um,
the
and that'll
surface.
hopefully get it
Like,
to stick.
yeah,
Yeah.
just like if you're gonna paint it or something.
Yeah,
And
because the tape is thick enough that it's gonna lay right over any voids or scratches or anything in that squeegee and basically flatten them out. It has no ridges on it whatsoever. It's completely flat. So it's not like the other stuff that you see out there that's got the ridges and all in it. It's completely flat.
yeah, I played with
And I'm
that for a
actually
minute.
working
And I'm
on
like, oh, I was gonna say I played with that other stuff for a minute, and I was like, I'm not gonna sell this stuff. It's bumpy, and nobody wants
yeah,
that.
yeah.
in
It didn't
life.
make much sense to me either.
And
I'm
besides
working
that,
on a thinner.
like I was
Oh,
explaining to
I'm
these
working
guys
on a.
earlier. Oh, we're gonna just do this, huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
I
Yeah,
was explaining to these guys earlier that,
it's weird.
it's not the tape itself that was breaking down. It was the adhesive. The adhesive it wouldn't hold the tape on. So as it would loosen up, we would tear it and peel it off. And so, there's a couple tricks that you can use to keep it on. But obviously, if there's something that works as well with a more rigid adhesive, that'd be better, because that PTFE tape, the adhesive is so loose. It's made to come off clean and easy, and that's kind of opposite of what we want it to do for our use.
Yeah, so that's one thing about this tape is if you have it on a squeegee and it's stuck on there right, and you go to pull it off, it's very likely going to leave that adhesive behind, and ATR, citric acid, none of that stuff's going to touch it. That stuff is some sure enough glue. I'm working on a thinner version of the tape right now because one of the reasons the tape wants to turn loose from the squeegee is because of the tape structure itself wanting to go back to its memory of being flat.
Mhm.
So I'm working on a thinner version of the tape now that'll conform better around the corners and so forth of a card and not be so and not want to pull off the card so bad. So hopefully one that's a little bit, because this stuff is, dude, you can't wear it out. Have you ever worked on a vinyl table, like applying transfer tape to vinyl?
Yeah.
Okay. So my favorite squeegee to use in that on the vinyl table is the soft gray one, the gray lid squeegee.
Yes.
So that's like one of the softest squeegees they have. But that's my favorite. Those things wear out really fast on a vinyl table. You wear that thing out where it's got a hump in the middle. You know, I've got a squeegee right over here. I'm gonna walk over here and get it if it's handy. See if I see it anywhere. I try to keep it close by. But I've got one of those squeegees here on our. Yep, here it is, right here. That tape has been on the edge of the squeegee since I found out about the tape, so I can get it in front of the camera. That's been on this squeegee since I found out about the tape.
Mhm.
It's still stuck on there pretty good, but it is not worn down at all. Like, there's no ridges in it. There's no frays in it. I would almost not be afraid to run this across the concrete floor and put it right back on the table over here. This stuff is
Don't
tough
do
as
that,
nails.
Jeff.
That being said, no, I'm not going to go to that degree with it. But that being said, I am looking at getting a thinner version of it so that we will have better adhesion and possibly a little better version of it that'll stick better on around these sharp corners.
Oh
For
yeah.
sure. All right. And obviously, I'm going to bug you after the show for, like, where do I get my hands on this stuff? Because, people want it. If people want it, I'm going to carry it if I can. But yeah, I I already found a couple sources for it, but comparing the prices I can find it for versus the prices you're selling it for, I'm thinking I'm not finding the right places to purchase it because
Oh yeah.
too
Yeah.
competitive.
Well, you know how you and I work behind the scenes. We'll figure it all out. That's the
Absolutely.
easy part. And hopefully, if we can buy more, we can get it at a little better deal and maintain or even get better pricing. So,
Well, I'll tell you, I decided to jump into those fish scale towels, and I got 10,000 of those coming because if you buy more, you get a better deal,
that's right.
which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm like, these guys are freaking out because, like, what does 10,000 towels look like? We got 5,000 square feet here, and we're packed to the ceilings, So
Yeah.
it's
Like, okay, what size box was that, and how many?
well, and the best part is I'm having them individually package them in 10 packs for me, so that
Okay.
I don't have to deal with any labeling or anything. I can just sell them because
Yeah.
one thing I notice with a lot of this custom do-it-yourself stuff is it really takes away from other parts of the business. And I know you, of all people, with as many different kettles on the fire you got going on, you can't stir all the pots at once, so
Yep.
if
The
you're
more
stirring
you
one,
can
you're
automate
neglecting
your
another.
process, the more you
Mhm.
can automate your process, the more profitable you become. That's the bottom line, man. If you can figure out a way to automate that stuff, even if it costs you some money up front, man, do it.
For sure. I mean, obviously there's a charge involved to get it all branded. Have you played with the fish scale towels at all? These?
I have not, because
So
you hadn't sent me any to play with.
well, so I hadn't either until I was looking at carrying microfiber towels like these. And
Yep.
people were like, "Oh, you need to get the fish scale towels." And I'm like, "What the fuck is a fish scale towel?" So
Okay.
a few of my viewers sent me some, and I'm like, "Oh shit!" And I went looking, and on Amazon and stuff, you can find these little dinky ones and like 12 by 12, and they're just not big enough. We need at least a 16 by 16. And I looked and I looked and I looked, and finally I had to go to our friends across the pond, which is its own kind of a process, as you well know. And anytime we can avoid that, we do. But I feel like this is unavoidable. So now I've been a week long in negotiations. Finally got me a sample package on its way, and that's going to take 7 to 10 days to get it air shipped. And when it finally gets here, if I like what I see, then it'll take another 30 to 60 days to get the actual shipment. So it's good times. So I'm estimating probably first of the year.
Gotcha. Is it a towel that has a texture like this?
Yes, just like that.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. $3.49 at a closeout store local. I happen to see
Man,
these. I've used these in off and on throughout my career since I found them years ago, but I've never really chased them down like that.
what
So yeah, I'm
size
familiar
is
with what you're
that? And
talking about.
what
This is a
size is
16
that?
by
And
24.
how many?
Uh,
Oh,
16 by 24, and they probably had a few hundred of them in stock or
is it just
left
one?
over if my. Yeah, this is just one in the package here, and I got another one that I took out of the package to check it out. But yeah, they work really good.
Okay.
I actually still prefer the. We have a microfiber here that we purchased from Sam's
Yes,
that
yes,
has
I
two
love
different
those.
textures. It has a smooth texture on one side, a little bit rougher on the other. So we
Mhm.
like those around the shop. We buy those. I've got 2 or 3 packs of them down here in our cabinet. But
Yeah.
I
Well,
contacted that company once about those, and those are basically an exclusive product,
yeah.
unless you're going to be buying a lot more than 10,000 of them.
Well, and just like Sam's, you got to go outside of the U.S. to buy them, and those boys over in China they'll sell you their biggest customer's product if you know if you pay them. So, but
That's
yeah,
right.
I looked into that, and that's what I was doing when I was looking for a decent microfiber towel to sell. And you just can't beat Sam's Club or Costco. They both have a really good towel and a really good price, and that's the ones that I would use. The last few times we tried to order from Sam's, they said they were out of stock, and so we couldn't order those ones. And we started going to, I believe it's the Rag Company or something like that, and paying a lot of money for their towels. And they got towels of pretty equal. They might be a hair better, but you know, with what we do to microfiber towels, it doesn't matter how good the towel is when you start, because we're going to trash it with dryer sheet and whatever else, and abuse and months of not washing them. Because I don't know, that's the other thing, that a lot of tinners, they don't wash their towels.
Oh, yeah, we wash ours every week, man. We throw them over in the wash with a cup of detergent and go ahead and wash them out, double rinse, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we're
I
the
can't.
same
I'm
way.
a stickler for having a clean towel, man. We throw our towels in a bin after it gets a little bit damp. We throw it over in the bin. If you have
Yep,
another one.
absolutely. We're the same way. We buy like 300 at a time, and so we'll have 300 towels, and using a damp towel is not acceptable. You can use a damp towel to wipe off the dryer sheet off a back window, but you can't use a damp towel on a customer's car. You got to get a clean towel. And we have a washer and dryer in the shop, so it's just standard practice to, when the basket gets full, you do a load of towels, and you make sure you don't run out of towels. But in a lot of these guys, the tinners, some of them are mobile, and or some of them just don't have a washer and dryer at the shop, so they have to remember to take the towels home, and it becomes a little bit of a fuss, and so they get neglected pretty bad. And then over drying microfibers, obviously, because the polyester content, you just using a dryer on high heat wears the towel out pretty quick, which a lot of people don't realize that, it dries faster when you turn it up on high, but it also doesn't last near as long. So
They actually are really fast standalone. You can actually lay a microfiber out on a wood table, and they dry really fast.
don't forget, you're in Georgia, Michigan.
Yep. Yeah, up north it'd be a little different, but I'm sure if you were in a heated room, it'd be much the same. They dry out fairly quick. You could leave them out overnight if the heat's on overnight. I'm sure it probably helps some.
Yeah, for sure. Well, up here in
fast.
we have, in the wintertime, we have radiant heat, so it works really well. It's a lot like sun. And
Yeah.
in the summertime, our garage is air conditioned, so it's useless in the summer unless you're going to put them outside, and outside's a dirty place. So, we don't have a nice yard to hang them on a line. So, and we don't have near the space you do in your shop at ours. So, there's all those little hangups, but we did figure out that, you can turn the heat off on your dryer and just tumble them, and they do dry pretty quick on their own because they're polyester. Well, they're 80% polyester, so that makes them go pretty quick. So how's things in the supply chain been treating you? That's something we're all still struggling with.
It's been fun. It's been different for sure. Last 18 to 24 months has been a ride, man. It's like we're having to buy parts. Like right now, I can walk back here and put my hands on about 2,000 parts that I used to buy by the hundreds. Like one of those parts back there, I literally have over 2,000 of right at this current moment that I used to buy 400 at a time, maybe 500. And the reason we're doing that is to overcome some.
Oh, absolutely. That's the same thing with us. Is and it really depletes the bank account too, because you're buying way more than you need. You're spending money that you shouldn't have to spend for 3, 4, 5 months, but you're having to buy it now because it's available now, and you don't know if it's going to be available then. But have you had to deal lately with? I just had to deal with this today. I had I only ordered 150 of these because I was pretty sure that's all this place stocked. And I ordered 150 of them last week, and they're 2-day shipping from me. So today I'm like, I give them a call and say, hey, I just want to check on this order. And she says, oh yeah, we're still waiting on the shipment to come in from the manufacturer. Because you ordered 150, we didn't have them all. I'm like, well, how many do you have? She's like, we only had 50. I'm like, well, you think you can maybe send me those 50 that you already sold me? So like, cause I got 4 and you know, I'm not trying to be impatient, but you know, I paid for 150 and you have 50. Are you trying to sell my 50 again? Cause I'm pretty sure those are mine.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I'll get those out today for you. It's like, in customer service, why do you have to, as the customer, why do you have to ask to be taken care of? You know, and I see that so much. Like, you could order 100 of something and they might have 98 and they'll just hold up your order until it comes in. Why? Are you dealing with any of that?
Yeah, in fact, that's one of the reasons why we switched suppliers on one of our parts and went over to direct manufacturing. They had we had an order of 200 parts sitting there. We ran slap out, and this was actually that was the number that was left over from our parts. That's what they owed us from the previous order. So we're sitting there waiting on these parts, right? So I told my office girl, I'm like, hey, call out there and see what's going on with those guys. 5 minutes later, she's back out the door saying, they said they have 54 of them in stock, and would you like them to ship them out here? I'm like, yeah, please, immediately. Like, they owe us 200. Why would they not have already shipped them, man? What in the world? What are they doing? That's like common sense. Like, if I had an order sitting here, somebody owed somebody 30 tanks, and I didn't have the stuff to build them, as soon as that stuff lands, man, it's going to be like, hey, man, y'all come in and work some overtime. Let's get these things kicked out. That's going to be the first thing on our agenda. But it's like all these suppliers out here, they're not treating us the same. They're not treating us the way we treat our customers. That is for sure.
100%.
And that's why
I know
we have had to pull some different triggers with our supply chain and go direct manufacturer. And even in that, we've had to go deeper than what we wanted to go because of logistical issues that we're hoping to overcome or to avoid. You know, so it's like.
And on the same note, I've had to, with a couple of different products, I've had to go direct just because of that problem from the manufacturers. Then my supplier would order, say, 200 of, let's say, Film Handler. I went direct with Film Handler because my supplier would make these big orders and Film Handlers having supply chain issues. And they can't get 200 at a time to send out to my distributor. So I call them up and I'm like, hey, let me just buy these direct. And by the way, can I just drop ship them to save my customer shipping costs? And they're like, oh, absolutely. And so while my back orders from my supplier still haven't showed up yet, they've probably shipped 30 Film Handlers for me. And it's like, that's the way our world is turning now, you know, and it's not fair. But as a business person, you know, I'm forced to take advantage of it. Same thing with meters. You know, I used to buy meters just like 3-4 at a time because they're not a big seller, but my supplier can't get meters because the same shortages. So I'm like, let me just reach out and see. Now I have to buy 10 at a time from the manufacturer of each meter. And I reach out to them and they're like, yeah, we can ship them to you. I'm like, huh, cool. So now but I don't like it when that happens. I mean, one, it forces me to grow, but the other thing too is it takes profit out of a supplier that takes really good care of me, and it's not their fault they can't get the product, right? Because they order.
Hey, give me 1 second, Rick. Hey, yeah, okay. I was gonna say I'm on a live that it may not be off of for a little bit. Yeah, let me write you down. Okay, yeah. You all right? One of my regular customers pulled up. He saw me out here.
He's like, "Oh, let me go say hi to Jeff."
He's actually he knows what's up. He's writing me a note.
There you go. Well, we're getting close to the end of this thing. Our audience is a lot smaller than it should have been, but we played with our mobile phones today, cutting some film live, and something went wrong when closing out the mobile phone, and it shut down the whole stream. So we
Okay.
got 10 of our viewers back. So, but the one that was most curious to hear about the stuff, he's here. So that's the
Oh, yeah?
important part.
Nice.
He said
All right, good.
polymer tape. No, it's what was it? Poly something. Polyethylene.
Yeah, polyethylene. Yep.
So many different polys in the world too. It's like how do you ever remember all this stuff? Ugh.
Yeah. There's a lot of them.
So it's a clear tape with a blue backing.
Yeah, some of it has a blue backing, some of it has a white backing. But what we have in stock right now is a blue.
I
And
want
I
an
think
orange backing, and I'm gonna.
I know,
find it.
right? I wanted a bright green backing, but they said we had to order
Right?
a whole lot of tape before we could start picking a backing color.
See, that's the problem with us having different colors. See, if we shared colors, then boy, we could really make this happen. But you know, it's kind of
Yeah.
like hose, and I know you've dealt with the same thing. You know, once upon a time, they told me I have to buy to get my own color. I have to buy 20,000 feet at one shot, and I remember that used to be like, oh my god. And my last order was 20,000 feet, and guess what color I got?
Same one you've been
Green.
getting.
And I only got it because she replied back to my order and says, you know, if you order this much, you can get free shipping. And I'm like, okay, let's do that. And I did not even think about how much that was until it shows up on a pallet. And these guys are like, where are we supposed to put this? But we also have the curry hose. We've got the blue, yellow, and red, and I ordered those 4,000 feet of each at a time, and that's 8 reels. And so we've got hose stacked everywhere in this place. It's freaking ridiculous. And I never honestly didn't think that when I moved into this building I'd ever outgrow it. And I'm at 2 years and we've outgrown it. Actually 2020, 2022, 2.5 years almost.
I gotta say, Rick, I'm proud you're messing with that many clean hoses, man. Kudos, brother.
Yeah.
No, seriously, man. I've sat and watched you grow. We've sat and watched each other grow. Absolutely cool to sit and watch you go through the process of growth and investment and reinvestment in yourself, both when you wanted to and when you didn't. Just like me, it's just like the time we're in now. There's a lot of investing we're doing right now that we don't really want to be doing, but we are, and through that we're growing. And I've watched you guys grow just like we have, and it's pretty cool. Pretty cool watching you stack all those hoses up, man, and all those reels and get at this thing. And you got you a sidekick there. It's good to meet you down here too, by the way, man. You got you a sidekick now there to help out with building those, and that's a key ingredient with keeping these things fluent. Rick, we're both really good at building these things, but we're even better at running our businesses. And if we can get somebody on our team, just like you have, and just like what I have, to help keep everything fluent, then we have a better product in the end, and a better service too. So
absolutely. Well, and you know, it shows when you go on your website, when you go on, and I've never even hesitated to tell people you're the only person in this industry that sells tanks that I would trust to send my customers stuff, because I know how you build them. We share our secrets. We know what parts goes into each other's stuff. We know that we're building an honest keg versus a lot of the other fly-by-nights out there that, you know, you see the parts that are going in their stuff, and it's like, and they won't listen because let's face it, when you cut off those ends off of those Flexzilla hoses and start putting your own custom ends on, the price goes up. You know, those ends don't cost much. And some of these people using air nozzles, you know, to convert into water sprayers, but yet we're worried about clean water, but we're not worried about what we're running it through. But
right.
Then in a time like this, with the problems that we're having with the with the supply issues, you can go to my website, you can go to your website, and most of the products are in stock. You know, you can go to a lot of these other people that brag about themselves and get other people bragging about them, and most of their products are out of stock. And that's the difference between trying to live off what you're making or reinvesting in yourself. And I think that's what tells the story that, you know, you're going to grow if you just continue to have faith, trust, and invest in yourself, because nobody else is
That's
going.
right. Well, you have to invest in yourself, but you also have to invest in people, you know, and that's where a lot of my growth came, was just investing in other people, man. When we first launched, but actually way before we launched Mozilla, we were sending parts out. And a lot of those parts were at no charge or at cost. You know, and that's kind of like, I know you were doing much the same thing in the beginning. You know, you was helping guys out before there was a such thing as a tent keg. You know, already know
Mhm.
this, and that's why we do what we do, and that's the reason why our stuff is in stock. Because guess what, Rick? Me and you can't do what we love without those parts over there on that shelf. That's why our stuff's in stock, and theirs ain't. Ain't no more complicated than that.
Yep, there's definitely a lot of differences between things. And the other thing I respect about you is you haven't succumbed to China. You know, I mean, obviously we both have Chinese made parts laying around because there's no other options, but God, you realize the profit margin difference we could make if we sold Chinese tint tools like some of the others? Because I mean, rather than paying $8 for a squeegee blade and selling it for 10, I could pay $1.30 for a squeegee blade and sell it for 10. I could pay $1.35 and have my name put on it and tell people that it's the greatest thing in the world, have a lot of people back me, and sell it for 12. Look at the profit
But
margin.
but then tent shop violence would be on a rise. I mean,
Well,
I'm just
besides
saying.
that, why? Besides that, we've got some very legitimate American companies producing good quality tools, and
Yep.
I'd rather not make the large profit margin and support one of our own. You know, because like Nick and Jordan, they're in the film industry. Oh, what the hell is his name from Tri-Edge? He's got a tint shop.
Right.
Pro Tools now, as far as I know, they don't have a tint shop, but they are dedicated to making us tools. You know, and so why would I
100%.
want to? Why would I not want to support those guys? You know,
That's right.
But what are you gonna do? You just roll with
I feel
it.
the same. That's why, dude. That's why my website is not like super deep, and that's why we don't have some of the tools that are available on some of the other sites. Because if I pull a tool in here, if I buy tools of some kind, and they don't work out for quality reasons, not because I don't personally like the tool or whatever, but if I pull a tool in here and it's got some quality issues, it does not get put on the website. It gets given out. I'm like, here, you want a free tool? Here you go. Here, have
I do that too.
You know? Yeah, like, here, try this out. Let me know what you think about it. You know, I ain't fixing to put no cheap crap quality nothing on my website or in anybody's hands that I expect them to pay for. Just not the way
it's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's not with it. And these guys that are in our industry building these tools, it's like Jordan and Nick, dude. I've been in plastics manufacturing. I've been in the process of molding. I know how to get over here on my milling machine and create a freaking mold if I need to, or manage one, whatever. I know what they face, and those guys. Let me tell you something, man. They're in claws deep. They are claws deep in what they're doing, man. They're like a talon. They got the whole talon stuck in, and that's the way you got to be in that business, man. And that's where they're at. And the same thing goes with Pro Tools now. Bob has moved his facility down here. I talked to Ben about that. They've moved basically all of their tools now to their new facility over here. It just outside of Bremen. Georgia, and that's impressed, man, because he's not making stuff for other industries out here. He's not out here making billions of gajillions of dollars making stuff as a commodity for somebody else. He's making stuff for us, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And the same, that's intense.
That's what makes it difficult for me to read people on comments and stuff in the group saying and posting an Amazon link to one just like it. You know, oh, you can get this one for $3 less. You know, it's just like it. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, there's no real Americans involved in that one, and probably not even the person you're purchasing it from on Amazon versus, you know, Pro Tools Now or Fusion Tools. That's a whole American chain, right from manufacturing, sourcing raw materials. They do their best to source everything American, you know, and it's like some things get sourced out of the country, but it's only when it has to be, you know, and we need to support companies like that because that's what's going to build America the way it was when we were kids. You know, when we were kids, manufacturing was a real thing and it was the backbone to our nation. And what do we make now? You know, what do we make now? We don't make tent kegs, you know, and I can't even get an American company to talk to me about manufacturing a keg here in the States because there's just not enough demand for it. And there's that Chinese company that sells them for so cheap, they couldn't afford to get back into it, you know, and it's like, how do we
we actually have a manufacturer right here in our back pocket. We've got a manufacturer that'll build our tank, do everything we need. But we got to buy a lot of them, and they're not going to be cheap. The price is going to nearly triple from what they are because of the fact we bring them here in the U.S. And that's not going to change until we change it as a whole, until we change that as a nation. You know, until we all gain our mindset on how we obtain our products. It's just not going to change, man. It kind of sucks.
And definitely is to fix the problem we've created over the last 4 decades. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt our pocketbooks.
Yeah, right.
It's going to hurt a lot, but it's going to be what it takes. I don't see another solution. We're not going to gradually get it better. We're not going to be able to keep anybody's attention for 40 years to fix it the same speed that we ruined it, you know, and to fix it is going to hurt. You know, we're going to need somebody to just flat cut out foreign supply, you know, and force our hand. So we'll see, but right. And how to, you know, it's got to be quick and swift because we wouldn't be able to we as a nation can't maintain anything for decades except for outsourcing. Why? Because it's so much cheaper to outsource it. So that's why that was able to stick. But unfortunately, that's the biggest negative we've ever faced. And our generation and generations to come are what's reaping the benefits of our choices.
I believe that it will be when our dollar loses its value that these things have to change. The almighty dollar rules everyone's mind, and when the dollar loses its value, humans are going to have to operate a little differently. Those are going to be the tough times. Those are going to be the hard times, you know, and the times that we're going to all adjust to. But we'll see.
Well, the good news is I got rifles and fishing poles. So, I mean, if it gets too bad, you know, we're up here in Michigan. We got lots of woods. I go build me a little cabin and hunt and fish. Uh-oh. Think we might be losing him. The meter is showing his signal is low and he is froze. And it's getting about that time to wrap up. Alex, you're not chiming in at 6 o'clock like you normally do.
Yeah, I don't know. I like hanging out with Jeff.
Jeff's a good
He's
guy.
Cool.
I
met
but
Jeff
look at where
Josh.
he froze though. He's got a really nice he's got a really nice profile pic right there.
Yeah,
you know,
sure
some
does.
of the poses that people freeze in.
For sure.
I mean, it's still trying to hold on to him, but it says his network connection is 0 out of 10. So that's That's kind of rough. Oh, and we lost him. I knew that was going to happen. True talk. Keep it American. Yeah, we do 100% need to try to support our American
Oh, there's Jeff.
products. Hey, he came back. Bring him back. There he is. Did you get too far away from
Hey,
your
there
network
it is.
connection?
No, I had to go swipe my card right quick. I forgot to pay the bill.
Damn it. Oh, heck. Yeah, and Sun Distributing actually got its first, well, now 2 company credit cards. You know, I funded
Oh,
this
yeah?
whole thing with my own personal credit cards because I had good credit and I
Same here.
get point rewards and everything, and Sun Distributing was new, and so it didn't have any credit, and you know, the speed of the growth required credit. And I've been for a couple of years now, I've been getting offers in the mail. Sun Distributing, you know, get 2% cash back or whatever. And I'm like, finally the other day, I'm like, okay,
Oh, yeah.
fine, click. And it's like, you're approved. Congratulations. I'm like, really? Just that easy? And then another one came in, and the second one scares me because I clicked it and it's like, you're approved. And then I'm looking for what's my credit limit. And it's like, you don't have a credit limit. I'm like, wait, what? You got to be careful with something like that.
I got my first one of those about 2 years ago. When I got the letter, I had to read that letter like 3 times just to confirm in my mind that what I was reading was the real thing. And I'm like, okay, I've never gotten one of these before. Here, will you please read this and let me tell me what it says?
Well, just to be sure, I was like, because I still didn't trust it. I'm like, what's the catch? You know, it's a Capital One Spark business card. And so I logged into my
yeah,
account and I'm looking all over and I can't find it anywhere there. And I'm like, oh, but there's this button that says to see if your next purchase will be approved. And I'm like, okay. And I clicked it and it says, how much is your purchase? So I put in $30,000 and it said, congratulations, that purchase will be approved. I'm like, wait. So where's it stop? So maybe next week I'll try it for 50 and see if it'll like, what's my buying power here? Careful, I'm going to get in trouble. But no, one thing I've learned is you don't want to try to buy more than a month at a time if you don't have to. Because, I mean,
Yep.
Well, especially this time of year, because as soon as December 31st floats around, you know, everything on the shelf is income. Ugh.
Yeah, that, and I've talked to a lot of shops that are slowing down kind of unexpectedly and or at an unexpected time, and also to unexpected levels this year. Some shops are dying completely off, where they used to just slow down a little bit. Now a little earlier than what they expected to.
Yeah, for sure. We've been seeing the same thing. Our tint shop hasn't seen a $0 day yet, but we have had many days when we got one job scheduled, like for a set of doors in the afternoon. I mean, they come in anyways and sit it out and usually pull in a couple cars during the day, but it's eerily slow because usually it doesn't slow down here until like mid-November. And no, it's starting now. And we already know that, you know, mid-February to mid-March is when we can, you know, as soon as income tax checks start rolling is when we start seeing our increase. So the question is it going to go from now until then? Because that's a long time. You know, that's not what we're used to. We're used to a couple of months, maybe 3 tops. But if we got October, November, December, January, February, and possibly March, that's 6 months of the year. It's like school teacher type shit.
Yeah. We usually see an uptick in dealership. Our dealership accounts see an uptick around November. Usually around November, 1st of December, we see an uptick with dealership work and a little bit of retail right before Christmas. But it's not unusual for us to see a little bit of a dip right now because of kids going back to school and all. That's
Mm-hmm.
usually what we see, but it's been very quiet here for the last couple of days. It's been kind of unusually quiet, kind of weird.
And usually the week before a holiday. So this week is supposed to be slow because Halloween being Monday, which is some kind of weird, but
Yeah,
Later.
and then next week because Halloween's in next week will probably be slow because of it. Then we should get a little bit of an uptick before Ryan walked up behind. He's watching the live and there's a delay, so I all of a sudden heard me talking and it was something I already said. But yeah, so until the week before, so we're not going to have a whole lot of back uptick, and then it's going to die back down. And fortunately for I think 5 years now we've been selling gift cards, so it's kind of known that we sell gift cards, so we do pretty decent with gift cards. The problem with that is, so you sell all those before Christmas and then you do all of them after Christmas, so you get a lot of not much money after Christmas. And here at Sun, I'm not 100% sure because last year I was sitting pretty good coming into the holidays, and this year is different because, like we talked about earlier, buying so much more than you need to, it really puts a hurting on the budget. And we're coming into winter, and I don't know how it's gonna look. So we'll see. But one thing I'm sure of is you and me will both be still kicking come spring, even if stocks are looking a little
Yep.
depleted.
I've spent my last about 3 months paying off all of our credit cards and revolving accounts and stuff like that. And one of our big accounts, we're about to pay off a printer too. That'll kill about a $500 a month payment.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're about to see hopefully a little bit lighter load as a result of that. But knowing me, I'll turn around and reinvest it for the spring. You know how that works. So start pulling triggers about mid-December for stuff to be arriving January 1 and on. So
yeah. As soon as the New Year's opens up, as long as the money is available. But I think I'm sitting in a pretty good spot. You know, I learned over the last couple of years with taxes that having too much shit on the shelf at the end of the year is not a good thing, because Uncle Sam considers that income, and I can't convince him to take some of that as payment. You know, like, but you called it income. If it's income, can I pay you with it? Because
right. Yeah, I heard that, man.
So what are you gonna do? But we are about 20 minutes late for signing off, so we probably should let you go. Alex done left us already, so
yeah, it's always found out.
But it is still daylight outside for at least another week. I'll get that luxury. You know, not this weekend, but next weekend we're going to do the time change thing, and it'll probably be dark at this time.
That's right.
It's 6:21 now. It's dark. It's starting to get dark at 7 o'clock here, so that'll be 6 o'clock here. So yeah, another 2 weeks. It'll be dark right now.
That's about right.
Winter.
Yeah.
But I see you're wearing
Wednesday.
a t-shirt, so you're in the right spot.
That's right. Hey, look, I'm wearing flops too, man. Got the flip flops on, t-shirt, but I do have my jeans and jacket in the truck that I had on this morning. So
yeah,
we have a pretty cool morning.
Cool in the morning. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, I guess that's I'll probably give you a call tomorrow sometime. I was just telling everybody on here how damn I haven't talked to Jeff in a minute. We used to talk all the time, and shit's just gotten crazy.
Yeah.
But
we need to touch base. I told my team the same thing. In fact, when we were up at the reunion, I was like, "Where's Rick?"
I brought lunch.
yeah. Appreciate the sandwich, man. I actually had 2 of them.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it turns out that, you know, I wasn't the only one with a good idea, which is good, because when I first found out on day one that y'all didn't have any food there and there's like no place really convenient, and with the parking situation the way it was, I'm like, this smells like disaster. This not over food. So
Yeah.
I told Alex, I'm like, go get like, I don't know, 10 cases of pop and or 10 cases of Pepsi, 10 cases of Mountain Dew, 10 cases of water. I'm like, you get that and I'll order lunch for tomorrow. And he's like, all right. And so that was the best presents I could come up with, because as Alex was driving back, I was headed to Tennessee, and I just couldn't be gone for that long. So Alex had to take my place.
So did they tell you about giving those sandwiches, taking the Dean and I think Dean and Chris took the sandwiches down to Atlanta and what was left over? That was pretty cool.
Touching as hell. Yeah, I love that, because a lot of times people would just be like, "Oh, let's help clean up," and everything goes in the garbage. And it's like the fact that somebody actually stopped for a minute and said, "Hey, wait, there's hungry people.
Yeah,
let's give them some nice treat."
That was good stuff. And thanks for doing that too, Rick. That was really good of y'all to do that, man. That was right on time, man. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that everything, the next day, Fusion had to step in and show us all up, though, with some barbecue. And I heard they had a pretty nice spread. So all in all, it sounds like everything went really well. So I'm pretty excited about that. And hopefully next year I can make it. I gotta get my scheduling in order. I am so bad at, the only reason I made it to Tennessee is because that was the wife's trip, and she had it planned, and we weren't missing that. So, but when I'm in charge of stuff, I don't schedule well. I'm 4 weeks past a due haircut, and the wife went in to get her haircut the other day, and she's like, "Make Rick an appointment." And I get a text on my phone, "You have an appointment for November 4th. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So now I'll get a reminder and I'll go get my haircut.
Yeah, just tie your ponytail up in the back. You'll be all right.
Yeah, we're going to get there soon. I swear. But all right, man, I'm going to let you get at it. And you got a bit of a drive home and you still got doors to close and stuff. So
man. Go ahead and turn all these switches off. It was great chatting with you, Rick.
Yeah, for sure. I'll probably give you a call tomorrow. I don't think I got a lot on my plate tomorrow. So.
Okay. Yeah. Same here. We've got a couple of things to take care of in the morning. Otherwise, pretty easy day. Give me a shout. I'll be around.
Yeah, for sure. Jaybird says he see you later, Jeff. And
all right, dude.